What is going on, guys? We are back playing some more Surviving with Immersive Engineering. Now, before we jump into today's episode, I do want to say Happy New Year to all of you, and I want to thank you guys for all the support you showed the channel in 2019. It was definitely an awesome year, and I'm hoping that for all of you and for me, 2020 will be even better. But without further ado, we want to hit the ground running in the new year with this series, since we have a lot to do today. And that is going to be centered around finishing this monstrosity in front of us. If you have not seen the last two episodes, we set up an oil processing plant, starting with the pumpjack over here in episode 1, getting that running to get some crude oil, which we then stored in this tank right here. We still have a fair bit of it to work through, but we are not powering any of these machines right now, so none of them are actually running, and that's what we're going to be working on today. But the second portion that we set up last episode was this distillation tower right here, which had been running. It's not running currently, but it turns the crude oil into gasoline, diesel, and lubricant. And then occasionally you get some bitumen as an item output, but there is none right now. So we are going to be working on dealing with all those different fluids, what we're going to be doing with them, and hopefully making this sort of a closed off power generation setup, and then sucking whatever excess power we have into other portions of the base. But it is nighttime now because I've been rambling for a little bit, so what we're going to do is sleep, and then we will jump into all the different stuff that we have to do. So this chest up here is looking pretty full of random stuff, and I also have a couple buckets of different stuff in my inventory right now. So the first thing that we're going to be making today, and I'll grab all of this stuff out, some of it's not going to be used for crafting because it's just the, wire connectors and things like that. But, if I could actually click things properly. So the first thing that we are going to make is the automatic lubricator. Now, I don't know if this gets much use, but this comes along with Immersive Petroleum, and the point of this is that certain machines like the excavator, the crusher, or the pumpjack, which is the one we're going to be using today, can have this block attached to them, then lubricant can be pumped in, and it will make them run at 1.25 times speed. So we're going to be using it on the pumpjack, but eventually you'd probably want to use it everywhere around your base if you've got things running fully. Things like the excavator running at 25% faster speed would definitely be something useful to have if you've got a ton of power to work with. So we're going to make this. I've never really experimented with this before or really heard about it, so we'll see how that goes today. It seems relatively simple. Then the next thing we need is the fluid router. Now, what I have heard about the distillation tower is that it only has one output. I know that for a fact, but it outputs all three fluid out of that one output. And people have a lot of trouble figuring out how to deal with that. And so from what I've heard, the best way is to just use a fluid router right at the output and output all three different fluids in three different directions, because you're going to be doing something different with all of them. So we're going to make the fluid router, again, not that expensive. We've never really worked with that before, but it's very similar to the item router, which we have worked with before. You're essentially going to go in, fill out the UI with whatever you want to go out each side, and that's really it. Nothing too complicated there. And then the last thing that we are going to work with is the portable generator. Now, this is not going to get us too much power, but the purpose is to use up all that gasoline that we're making, which is the major byproduct of this process. It's not really the product mainly, I would say, because we're really going for diesel. And we get so much gasoline, which really can only be used to make a couple things like napalm, which we don't really want. And then I think it can be used to generate power with this and do one other thing, but neither of the things other than generating power with the portable generator are useful. So we're going to make the portable generator here. And other than that, I think everything that we have is just going to be used to be placed down to make the diesel generator, which we've already done, I know, but we're going to figure out where we're setting it up over here today. And you guys are going to have to bear with me as we set it up for a second time and get this whole thing running. So first thing that we want to do is put down, where is it? The fluid router. And we'll take care of the easy ones first, but right here is where the output's going to be. So we put this down, and now I think we need to just put buckets in here with what fluid we want to go where. So lubricant, we have to see where we actually place the automatic lubricator down. Apparently when you have it out, it will show you. So you can see right here, since we can put it down on the pump jack, it shows us that we put it down right here. Now I assume we pump it in the top considering it's blue. So we are going to want to have the fluid pipe coming all the way around here. So we're going to want it to come on the blue side and go around here. And we can just run this right along up here and over. So we'll go like so. It's going to get a little bit messy today with how we do a bunch of the piping will actually go down here and up. So now lubricant should be going in there. We can see. Oh, and it's starting to pop stuff out. So I guess we actually don't need to set this up technically with different filters. It should be able to appropriately judge, I guess, which ones can go where. But I think what you would do is put a bucket in there. So that should be south, I think. So I think if we wanted it to go there, we would put a bucket in there. And by clicking there, it puts lubricant. So now that's the only one that can try and go out there. If another one were to try, it wouldn't be able to. But yeah, so that should have taken all of the lubricant out of there. And now we've just got diesel and gasoline, but it can't make any more because this is still full. So now we need to pull out the gasoline, which is the easiest one next to deal with. And that is just going to be using this portable generator. Now the question of really where we want to put it is up to us. Since the power is going to be having to basically come over here, probably want to put it somewhere like right here. Honestly, it sounds kind of stupid, but we put the fluid in the top. And if we want it to go somewhere like right there, then we could set up the diesel generator over here and easily wire the power over there. So for now, we'll put it there. And what we can do is, I'm trying to think of how we want to do this because there's two different outputs that we can use. We could use any of these three actually for it. And if the diesel generator is going to be over there, one of those is going to be used for that. So I think for this one, maybe we use the red and we grab out fluid pipes. We might need to make some more of these because we're using so many. And then I really can't remember how you make things not connect, like pipes not connect. I thought you were supposed to be able to use the engineer's hammer to like disconnect them. Oh, you can. Okay, cool. So we're going to want to do that if we go right over like this. And then we're going to want to use the engineer's hammer to disconnect those. And the portable generator should now actually be able to run unless we messed up what's inside it. Let's see if do we have any buckets in here somewhere? We should have buckets in here somewhere. Dumped them right in here. So I don't know. So it's empty right now. Let's see what happens if we put, this one was the north one. So it's red. So we want to put gasoline in there. Let's see what happens now. Does gasoline get put out in here? Or are these messed up after trying to disconnect them? Still says it's empty, even though it should be getting fluid input through the top of it. Okay, guys, so we are back, and honestly, I have no idea what the issue was. So I fiddled with a couple things, and we ended up with pretty much the same setup. I did make one more portable generator, realizing that we are going to be using way more gasoline than the rest of the stuff. And if we get a backup of gasoline, the other ones can't be produced. So that causes an issue. But yeah, I started hooking things up and it all seems to be working. So with the diesel generator, I hooked up a high voltage connector to go over here. And this is actually not how we're going to be doing it in the end, considering I want them to all be connected to one thing for power, and then that spits out power to each of these, considering this is our main source of power, and it doesn't need to only go over here to the distillation tower. So we can actually break this and break this, and what we're going to want to do is have one of these, whichever one is our highest one. I think we have a high voltage capacitor. So we're going to want our high voltage capacitor to be somewhere over here. And we're going to want it to be able to get power to over there, which is a little bit awkward with how the piping is right now. And I want to get that high voltage connector back so I don't lose it. But yeah, so we need to, wow, is it not possible for me to get in here right now? Do I actually have to break one of these pipes to get in here? Okay, well, we'll break one of the pipes. But the whole thing is very, very strange. So what we're going to do is, I'm trying to think, if it needs to get wired there and it needs to get wired there, we could just move those pipes, but it also needs to get wired from there too. So we could also try and move these pipes a little bit if we wanted to. We could try and shift everything down one. Maybe that's what we'll do. So we'll dig this into the ground. I know I should be using a shovel. We'll dig this into the ground and we'll move all of these down one so that we have better access to stuff. So then this will go right here. That needs to get disconnected. These will get broken. Actually, it'll get broken all the way up until... Oh my gosh, trying to walk around with these pipes everywhere. It'll get broken until there, and then this one can come down like so. This needs to get disconnected here. Whew, a lot of pipes intermingling here. So this needs to get put like this. These need to be broken up here. Grab that back there. Get rid of that one. Then all of these need to be disconnected right there. Those should not be connected. Those should not be connected. Okay, so I think it's all situated for now. We definitely don't need one right here. Oh, wait, we do. Oh, no. Okay, so that was a bit of a mistake. I don't know why I thought that one shouldn't be there, but it's fixed now. So, yeah, small mistake on my part. We'll just say that much. What we're going to do is wire this around here, though, or pipe this around here, and then bring it around. Continue disconnecting it from all of these. Go right there. Disconnect that from here. Get rid of both of these. And I think that should be good. And now, because everything's shifted down a little bit, this makes it a lot more accessible in terms of wiring stuff. So over here, we're going to want, and I'm going to use high voltage wiring for as much of this as I can. So we're going to put a connector there. We have a high voltage connector there and a high voltage connector there. And what these all need to be having done is be connected to a capacitor somewhere. So I suspect the best place will be somewhere in the middle here, like potentially like that. I think that's our high voltage capacitor, which could have a high voltage connector on there, but we need to keep in mind that the input and output need to be different. So we actually are probably going to need one more high voltage connector, and then both of these guys are going to have to connect up to it. I don't know if we'll be able to make it with this, but these use medium voltage connectors. So we can put those in this side right here. We got blue, medium voltage, and if we have our medium voltage wires, the nice thing about these is that they don't need to, you cannot attach this wire from here. Oh, right, because we need a relay. Okay, well, that's just making things a pain in the butt. Whoops, we want to link that to that. See, that's such a pain in the butt that we need to put down a relay somewhere to make it that we can connect these. What do we have? There is the potential that our life could be made easier by, what is it called? It'd be a treated wood. They're like the poles that you can put down. We'll have to go right here. Wooden post. So stone brick and 2 treated wood fence. Do we have any treated wood fence in here? We do. We have 2 treated wood fence. And do we have any stone brick over here? We do. So if we make one of these, this can make our lives a lot easier. We got a wooden post. And we should be able to put this down somewhere like right over here. And if we put this out at the top, we can put a relay down on it if we want. And I'm trying to think of which one we would want to do. We could do medium voltage relay there. We could actually do 2 relays. Let me move this. I think we can do 2. I believe you can put one out on each side. Yeah. So we should be able to put 2 relays. So I can actually move this into a correct position to put 2 relays on it. Then we can disconnect those and make this connection a lot easier. So we can actually move this whole setup. And if we put this down, let's say hypothetically we put it down right. I feel like here is not a good spot. I do not like putting it down here. What if we... This might be the only option though. If we put it down here, extend this out one side, extend this out the other, and then we should have relays over here. We have the high voltage relay, and these are low voltage connectors and relays. So the only one we don't have is a medium voltage relay. So we got to make those. I don't know where those are. Medium voltage wire relay. 2 terracotta, 2 iron. I don't think we have any terracotta left in here anywhere. Oh, we do. We have 2 terracotta over there. I guess I never used that from a really long time ago because we've had so much. Alright, so medium voltage wire relay. Yeah, go figure. We never use medium voltage. So if we put this here, we can connect that. And if we put this here, we can connect that. So we can do that. And then this should make it easier for us to wire up our base. So the medium voltage, which is insulated, is going to connect to this relay right here. So we can connect that. And then the high voltage is going to come from over here so that we can drop it down. So the high voltage, which is not insulated, so we got to be a little bit careful, it's going to connect to that right there. And then that is going to go to wherever we decide to put the capacitor, which then is going to have to power this and that. So maybe somewhere right over here. High voltage capacitor, if we put it down somewhere like right there, we could easily input power on 2 of the sides. I don't know which 2 would be the easiest, because I don't think we can reach this over there. Can we? Let's see. Let's get out our insulated medium voltage. Yeah, so we can't reach that on that side. That's the one problem. We got to put this down in a position where we can actually appropriately access each side that we need. So if we put it down, what about right there? We'd be able to do medium voltage wire connector on this side, and we just have to change this side to be the proper. So like that. Medium voltage connector, insulated medium voltage. There we go. Then we have, where's the high voltage connector, which will go on this side. And then that'll use the high voltage wire. So now this is accepting power. And then we need to make another high voltage connector, which is going to be output on the top. Right? Ooh, no, this relay should be used for that. See, this is difficult, and the reason it's difficult is because we're trying to put this power into a central power, this power into a central power, and then the power goes out there and there, but the connectors can only ever be connected to one. So we technically need 2 connectors or another relay, and we definitely can't extend this by 1 more. So maybe if we do, for now we could honestly just do this to there and this to there. It looks horrible, but we could do it. And this still should net power into this one over here, because it's a net positive gain of power. Even just from the diesel generator, we're able to get more power than these 2 consume, as far as I know. So you still do want to have it connected to this. But this is a pretty convoluted setup, when in reality we could probably just put one of these down pretty easily. But now everything should be running smoothly. So if we walk through here and we look in here, we should be able to have stuff being taken out. It's actually running. It sounds like it's running. These should be running too. So these are empty, so something isn't working again. And so the diesel and lubricant aren't being taken out. So I tried using this. Let's see if we actually have to use the pipe, because it could be the fluid router is the issue. The last time that I used the fluid router, it didn't seem to be causing an issue, but let's see. Yeah, so I don't know if the fluid router is the issue, but it basically picks and chooses which one it wants to dump at a time. So you'll see then that once this diesel gets to be at a high amount, it might start dumping that once it finishes dumping out all the gasoline it wants. So let's wait and see. Yeah, so now it's dumping out the diesel. It's still got gasoline in there, but it's choosing to dump out the diesel, and the lubricant's still going up, so is the gasoline. And eventually, I'm sure it'll start deciding to dump out the lubricant into the machine over there, if that's actually utilizing it. I don't know if this machine is utilizing it, because that's where we're supposed to put it down. Let's take a look at that one. So we have the automatic lubricator, which is the automatic lubricator will do its task once attached to a machine. The point where it must be attached is highlighted while holding it. When correctly placed, lubrication pipes will form around the machine. So it did not form lubrication pipes around the machine. So we're going to break this, and we're going to see if we're not putting it down at the right spot. So now we're holding it. and it does not show that same spot to put it down at over here, which is interesting. There it is. Okay, so it shows it right there. So we put it down. Do we have to hammer it? Something happened. Oh, it needs to be rotated to be the correct side. I think that's it. Yeah, that might be it. Now it's got pipes there, so it needs to be rotated. It doesn't say that. Okay, so now that should be able to work too. So everything should be able to run pretty smoothly, and this should be filling up over here. If we pull out the voltmeter, so there it is. So if we were to use this power for the rest of the base, we should have sufficient power for everything. So off camera, I will try and make this look a little better. It looks super convoluted right now. There's definitely a better way to set this up, but trying to keep it all cramped into one spot and not spreading it out too much makes it a little bit more difficult. I do apologize for the lengthy video, though. It's definitely something that is slightly odd to set up, and I think the fluid router not actually working properly with this, and I don't know why, it caused a lot of issues, since that is the suggested way to do it. But I think it's going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to give it a like, and if you have any questions, please feel free to post those in the comments, and I will talk to you guys later.
Standing in a glass bowl at the end of a black hole, cold, lost and upside down. Faces swirling past me, all my memories rolling vastly.